So now we are going to discuss about the functional interface in Java. And this is the new feature. This is JDK 8 feature. First of all, what is functional interface and how can we define functional interface? Right? Functional interface is an interface that allowed to define only one abstract method. Generally, if you want to write any interface that will allow multiple abstract methods, right? Just I'm writing interface. How can you define interface means what? Using the interface. Suppose I'm writing test. By default, interface methods are public and abstract. See, I'm writing multiple. We can write any number of abstract methods. Any compilation error? No error. Generally, interface allow any number of abstract methods. But functional interface allow only one abstract method. So how can we define the functional interface? We define using annotation functional interface. This is the annotation we are using. Let me write. See, suppose we have to define like this. Functional interface. Now, if you compile, you will not get any error because in functional interface, we are using one abstract method. And let me write the second one and you will get the error message unexpected at functional interface annotation because multiple non-overriding abstract methods found. So here you will get the error. This is not a functional interface because multiple abstract methods, non-overriding methods found. So it is recommended to define the functional interface using the annotation called functional interface. And one more point, remaining all are allowed. Note the followings. What are those? We can define static variables, functional interface allows variables which are public, static, final, just like a regular interface by default. Second one is a functional interface. Functional interface allows static methods. Functional interface allows default methods also. We know already. How can we define the static? We can define using the static keyword. How can we define the abstract methods? Right? We can define, default methods, we can define using default keyword. These things already we discussed. And how can we access? Means what? We access using interface identity, nothing but interface name. And next, default methods, how can we access? We access using implemented class object. Let me explain. The same thing I'm taking. Here it is that functional interface, only one abstract method, but multiple static methods. See, I'm just writing only definition like this. If you want to write anything inside, you can write. And next one, M3, 2 static methods and 2 default methods also I'm defining. Any number of static methods and any number of any number of default methods we can define. And how can we access M1 means what? We must override with a class implements test. And here you must override. By default, it is a public. We are overriding it as a public, just writing the body. Now I'm creating object. We know how to create object. Interface. Next one, the reference variable with an implemented class object. And you can access everything. obj.m1. Static means what? Interface name. So what is that interface name? test.m2, test.m3. Next, default methods. obj.m4, obj.m5. This is the way we are accessing all. You will not get any compilation error because we follow the rules. Functional interface means an interface that accepts only one abstract method that you can override into implemented class, and it allow any number of static methods and any number of default methods. We can access the static methods using that name, identity of interface. We can access the default methods using that address. Sir, why they introduced the default methods and all? We'll see in the coming concepts. Okay.